over the Falcons 21. It's been a great performance by the Gold Coast Rollers, but as we said, we're only 3.5 minutes into the second quarter. Anything can happen. The Falcons streaked away to a 6-0 lead early. Then the Gold Coast Rollers got even. The ball game was tied up for a while. And then the Rollers just really took over, took command, kept hammering home the points. Zaghetti trying to stop Dozier from scoring, along with Matthew Reese.
Well, a couple of interesting substitutions, Terry, and you see as Dozier comes in here, Zaghetti's come up and hit him with the body, and Dozier just a bit unlucky. The ball didn't go in the basket there. But a couple of subs on the Rollers. Instance, Zaghetti's come on, and so's Lagasse. Maybe Dave Claxton's very comfortable at the moment with this lead. Wants to give some a good one a break, which will probably be very handy. But also Peter Hill.
Peter Hill's having a rest.
This is the guy that Newcastle need to lift his game, Terry Dozier. If he can get involved more, then they'll come right back into it.
Dozier, the big looping foul shot. 37 points the Gold Coast Rollers, the Falcons 23, and I think fair comment, Curly, that often the Gold Coast do get a big lead and they squander it and then put themselves under enormous pressure right at the end of a game.
Yeah, we've seen that on a number of occasions this year.
The Rollers, LaFleur goes through Harvey, back out to Mitchell for 3. Oh. Mitchell, did he get a fingertip to the ball? Yes, he did. Barry McLeod. Yeah, Falcons ball from the side. Kruger will bring it in.
You see it here. Mike Mitchell, yeah, just the barest touch. And Terry Dozier knew it was going to be a hard one to pick up and just let it go. Smart thinking.
Dozier takes on Reese. Now Terry Dozier is coming into the game.
Well, suddenly that 20-point lead's down to 12, Terry, and Dave Claxton may have to make a few changes out there, but Terry Dozier's the guy that's bringing them back into the game.
Zaghetti to Reese to LaFleur. LaFleur with the travel. And Kruger, he's a mean customer, isn't he?
Well, with a haircut like that, he's got to have something going for him, but here it is. Andre LaFleur travel, lifted his back pivot foot, and referees call it. Kruger's come over and knocked the ball out of his hand to try and get to the sideline a lot quicker. And there's another turnover from Newcastle Falcons.
And that was good pressure from Brendan Lagasse, who's come off the bench. Lagasse putting the pressure on and coming up with a turnover.
There's that defensive player once more, Terry.
Terry Dozier showing all the skills. What sensational play. He picked up the steal and then went all the way behind the back and into the basket. So now Dozier has brought the Newcastle Falcons back. They'll be down by 10. Reese gets the Gold Coast Rollers back out to a 12-point lead. And Dozier with 6 points in the second quarter. Can he make it a 9? Loading up there. Kruger. The ball still in play for the Falcons. Harvey.
A bit of body banging out there, Terry. Guys aren't giving an inch.
Now Green tries to get himself into the game. That shot was short. Green has just 2 points, and he virtually crash tackled Mike Mitchell on back play there. Three referees, it was hard not to see.
Well, some interesting calls out here tonight, but there's our man Zaghetti down on the break. Kruger was there. Nothing was called. Kruger was there. Yeah, very fortunate to get away with that, John Zaghetti.
Kruger. Dozier takes on Reese. The fadeaway jumper won't go down. The crowd don't like it. The call going against the home side and in favour of Kruger.
Kruger's got no favourites, as he'll ever go at anybody. Dozier's taken the shot, and you'll see here Kruger's got in-play position, and Lagasic's holding him there, and Zaghetti had a little piece of him also.
Peter Harvey. Mitchell trying to spoil the play for Al Green. Kruger puts a step on Zaghetti, makes the 2. And now Mitchell and Al Green. Now this is a result of what I said about 2 minutes ago, where Al Green was looking for a state of origin spot by trying to tackle Mike Mitchell.
Have a look at this. Kruger puts on a good move here on Seghetti, makes the bucket. Mitchell and Green made a little bit of contact there, and there's not too many friends out there at all.
The way it should be. Rollers 41, the Falcons 29. Nice, tough, hard basketball. Plenty of scoring as well, especially by the Rollers. A turnover now. LaFleur, Lagasse. Dozier came out in the big reject.
Those two rejects tonight. The crowd doesn't like it, Terry, because he's had his hand in his back on that layup, but the referees didn't call it. The referees need to get a little bit better control here. As we see, here it is Lagasse, and he's got one hand in his back, but he's blocked the shot, and Terry Dozier never gives up, and great defensive play.
Lagasse hits back with 3 points. Big play.
Brendan Lagasse had a very good game earlier tonight when he played in the State League game, and he's come out and he's looking better each game as he plays.
43, the Gold Coast Rollers, the Falcons 29. Lagasse coming off the bench, is looking for more court time, putting the pressure on Peter Harvey and just forcing the slip.
He just had him a little headlock there. Peter Harvey lost his footing, and all the players need to settle down a little bit here. They're letting all what's going bad. Here it is. You'll see Peter Harvey slips, just put his foot on Lagasse there, unfortunate. And here Brendan Lagasse come and give him a little hug around the neck.
Now Dozier brings the ball into Everett Stevens. Harvey. Michael Johnson is back out there for the Newcastle Falcons. Johnson for three, knocks it down. Well, Michael Johnson. That's
what he's known for, Terry, and Michael Johnson hasn't found the groove yet, but that one could help his confidence. And if Michael Johnson can just shake loose, they'll whittle this lead down. It's 11 points now, and a few minutes ago it was 20 points. So Gold Coast Rollers need to settle on. Here's LaFleur now. Everyone's getting involved out there. It's starting to look like a State of Origin match. 43 the Rollers, 34 the Falcons. It really has been an enthralling contest. There's been plenty of points, plenty of hard physical defense from both teams being played. A couple of rejects, sensational three-pointers. It's all happening in the opening half here with the Gold Coast Rollers up by 43 over the Newcastle Falcons, 32. It's a changing game, isn't it? 1 minute there, Gold Coast Rollers were dominating, and Newcastle Falcons were gone, 20 points down and struggling. Their heads were down. Gold Coast Rollers looking very good. A couple of changes, a couple of substitutions, and Terry Dozier came into his own. And the good thing I like about Terry Dozier, he wasn't making his baskets, Terry, but how he lifted his game was on the defensive end. Made a couple of steals, blocked a couple of shots, then came down the other end, and his offense just took care of itself. And that's what I like about him. You can see what he tried out in the pros at the start of last season, or after the NBL season was finished. Terry Dozier had to try it with one of the NBA teams. I think it was 76ers. I'm not quite sure. But he's a great player, and he's inspired these guys. I said before the game, if Terry Dozier can get going, he's the guy that'll lead the Newcastle Falcons to a win. There he is on screen there now. I've got a lot of respect for this guy. I must admit, I tried to recruit him a couple of years ago with Brisbane Bullets, and pretty I wished I had him. He saw the light, he stayed away from you. Yeah, but he hasn't won a championship or anything like that, and I know he'd love to win one. What about the Gold Coast Rollers? Peter Hill still sitting on the bench. He was red hot with those three-pointers early, and Coach Claxton has decided to keep him on the bench. Yeah, he's sitting him there, and he's sitting good ones, so he must be happy with Seghetti and Lagasse and what they're doing. As soon as they walk back out, Mike Mitchell's having some words there with Barry McLeod, but everybody out there is having a little tete-a-tete. There's not too much friendship, so it'll be interesting to see if these guys do go down to the casino after the game together or not. Been a big weekend for the Newcastle Falcons. They've had the casino at Townsville, now the casino at the Gold Coast. They might just come home with 2 losses and no money in their pockets at all. Harvey, Dozier now. He wants to change all that. Lux of fortune. There was a touch there for Dozier as the Falcons come storming back into this game. 43-34. So now they've got that 20-point break back to 9 points. It's been a tremendous effort. Seghetti flew high along with Mitchell. And Kruger is in the middle of it again. And don't the crowd let him know. Well, Grant Kruger, a bit unfortunate there. Rebound, a big rebound by Mike Mitchell. Reese took the shot. Bodies are in there. As you see, Mitchell's got the rebound. He's gone up. Kruger's come over. Looked pretty clean to me, and a little bit of contact, and Mike Mitchell sort of gives him a little shove on the way down. So I would say it's a rough game out there.
Mitchell, solid from the free throw line, makes the first. Simon O'Donnell is now out there. Versatile bloke, isn't he? Out there, Newcastle Falcons in singlet number 44. He makes his way up court. Bit of full court pressure now being applied by the Gold Coast Rollers. So they're not going to rest on their laurels with 4 minutes remaining until half-time. Peter Harvey loses control of the ball momentarily. This is good pressure by the Gold Coast Rollers. Nagasic is right on the hammer of Everett Stevens, who hasn't cut loose so far tonight. Dozier. Johnson. Back to Dozier. The two combining well. Terry Dozier is now starting to rack up the points. That is 10 points for Dozier in this second quarter.
Mike Mitchell answers down the other end. Terry Dozier missed the steal. Michael Johnson not strong enough to hold him. Interesting, Terry, you're saying about the full court pressure. Both teams, after a made foul shot, full court zoning the opposing team, and that's interesting that a lot of teams do that these days, and it generally works. Here's Peter Harvey gone in for a nice little layup. He's not the safest ball hanger out there. He worries me every time he's got it. You're not quite sure what he's going to do.
They've got that lead back to 9 points. 47 the Rollers, 38 the Falcons. Inside the final 3 minutes as the big guns.
Well, that's his favourite in isolating the guys in the wing. Here's Terry Dozier again, Terry. Didn't see him in the first quarter, but boy, oh boy, hasn't he made a big comeback in this second quarter. 12
points for Dozier in this second quarter. Not only that, as we continue to say, he does it at both ends, and what a bonus that must be for a coach.
Tremendous bonus, and there's nothing like having a defensive leader out there on the court like Terry Dozier. A couple of subs there for the Rollers. Goodwin's come back on, and you were questioned before about Peter Hill. He's come on for these last 2.5 minutes.
Goodwin gets the turn on O'Donnell and makes 2. So Andrew Goodwin's also done his fair share of scoring for the Gold Coast Rollers. 4 points in this second quarter, and he had 8 points in the opening quarter. 51 the Rollers, 40 the Falcons. Dozier puts a step on Reese. Andrew Goodwin was there in defense. He spoiled the basket. O'Donnell goes up again.
Some big hustle there from the big guys. Goodwin lying on the floor. Simon O'Donnell, he's come up limping. It just bumped his knee there a little bit. But some good hard stuff there. And Terry Dozier, unfortunately, didn't make that jump shot there. And Simon O'Donnell, he doesn't look too good, but I'm sure he'll be right, because he's been out with injury. He had an operation on his ankle pre-season.
We're inside the final 2 minutes of this second quarter. It's been an enthralling battle. The Gold Coast Rollers are up by 11 points at the moment. Peter Hill. Back to Lafleur. Thought about 3. He'll take the 3 now. The shot was short. Peter Harvey brings the ball up. For the Falcons, Lafleur comes out to meet him. Michael Johnson. Johnson stripped to the ball by Mitchell. Mitchell got a bit of the arm. The foul has been called.
Johnson's been fairly well held also. He likes to just float out there in the perimeter and take the jump shot. You see he's on a reverse dribble here. Mike Mitchell's come from behind and stripped him on the arm. The referee's right on the spot. It's called it. Greg Fox will come in for Mike Mitchell, give him a bit of a break with the major break coming up, and he'll come back in the second half a lot stronger. Simon O'Donnell's interesting, Terry. He spent a little bit of time in the United States at Nebraska Community College where Simon Curl was, and they were teammates over there. And Simon, his basketball has developed in the last couple of years. He had last year at North Melbourne, didn't get much court time, so he's looking to play. But like I said, he wasn't off to a very good season, a good start to the season with that injury.
Michael Johnson gets the lead. Back to 9 now for the Gold Coast Rollers. Reese. O'Donnell comes out to meet Reese. Greg Fox now controlling the ball for the Gold Coast. A good ball from Fox to Goodwin to Lafleur, quick hands. doesn't result in a basket. Oh, so close to a backcourt violation by the Gold Coast Rollers. Reese. Good cutting play by Greg Fox. Failed to result in a basket. 51 the Rollers, 42 the Falcons. Johnson, we're inside the final 35 seconds of this second quarter. Dozier. Stripped of the ball. 31 seconds remaining on the clock. Newcastle Falcons can be well pleased with the job they've done in this second quarter. They've got this lead back under the double figures.
In the replay there, Terry, you can see Matthew Reese has got his hands in there on Terry Dozier. He was at the foul line now. And you'll see the Newcastle Falcons, they'll put a full court zone press on here also if they make this second foul shot of Dozier's.
He's got a big looping foul shot, hasn't he, Dozier?
Yes, he the rainmaker there, but that's what good coaches teach them to do.
Now
is that press, Terry?
The Falcons trying to force the turnover with some full court pressure. Inside the final 20 seconds now. LaFleur will take his time. Mitchell isn't out there, so keep an eye on LaFleur. Pistol Peter Hill is out there. He's been in dynamic three-point shooting form. Goodwin will take the two.
Well, there's a switch on the defense then, and Peter Harvey ended up on Goodwin, and it was pretty easy for Goodwin. Oh, there we go. He's fouled. Harvey makes the jumper and will go to the foul line for a bonus, and we could have a 6-point ball game here at half-time. At one stage, the Gold Coast Rollers led by as much as 20.
What a comeback by the Falcons. Peter Harvey, great work here, Curly.
Great work. Off balance, foul by Goodwin. Puts it up. It was a Hail Mary, but it's gone in, and he finishes it off, and with a nice little soft foul shot. And like we said, it's a 6-point lead to the Gold Coast Rollers.
What a comeback by the Newcastle Falcons. They were down by 20 big points in that quarter, and they've cut that lead back now. It's the Gold Coast Rollers at halftime, leading by 53 points to 47.
Presented by Nintendo and MITSUBISHI.
Welcome back to the Roller Dome. The Gold Coast Rollers had a lead of 20 points, cut back to 6. They still lead by 53 points to 47 over the Falcons, and some telling statistics from both teams here, Brian Curl.
Well, the Falcons shooting 52% from the field, whereas the Rollers shooting 39%. 100% from the foul line, both teams. You don't see that very often. 3 points. Rollers have taken more than the Falcons, and they've dropped down a little bit, I think, since Peter Hill hasn't been out there. Rebounds, well, it's 6 up to the Falcons, but the turnovers have pretty well evened up. 12-7, and that's interesting because the Falcons had about 11, I think, at quarter time to the Rollers 1, so the Rollers picked up there in that second quarter, and that's why they're a lot closer now. And you have a look at the top scorers here, Terry. That's very interesting.
Well, Terry Dozier really cut loose in that second quarter. He had 14 points. He only had 4 in the first quarter, 14 points in that second quarter. Andrew Goodwin has done well for the Gold Coast Rollers. He has 14 points. Peter Hill scored all his 12 points in that opening quarter. He set out most of the second quarter. I think Gold Coast Rollers coach Dave Claxton Curley might have to get Hill back out there, and they can't afford to let Dozier keep chalking up 14 points per quarter.
Well, it wasn't just his 14 points, was it? It was his defense, and a number of steals, a couple of block shots. Great inspiration for his team out there, and a great captain for a coach to have, and any team to have out there. But it was interesting, like you said, Goodwin was sitting out and Hill, and they were their 2 leading scorers for the half, and they didn't see that much court time that second quarter. That was interesting why Dave Claxton did that. But Falcons, they were happy, and they've got it together now. They've finally got into a rhythm. It's amazing how the game goes. It swings one way. At the start, it was on the Rollers' way. Now it's back to the Falcons. So it'll be interesting. Tom Wisman, he looks a little bit more relaxed there than he was in the first quarter.
That wouldn't be hard either, would it? And I guess a lot really depends on who's going to make the good start to this third quarter, because they've had a quarter each.
Yes, if it keeps going the way it is, Newcastle end up winning the game. game, and I'm a bit concerned because I did tip them to win in Basketball Week, and the Gold Coast Rollers, they've won 3 straight, and Dave Claxton, he wouldn't have been happy there at half-time. But one thing when you're a coach and you've got a 20-point lead, you can't dwell on that too much at half-time. You've got to talk about the positive things of the game, the good things, what they did. And Gold Coast Rollers did do a lot of good things. You see Mike Mitchell there, his head's down a little bit. He didn't have a great half, Terry, at all. And if he can really lift his game, the Gold Coast Rollers, they're going to be very tough this half. But then again, if Everett Stevens cuts loose, Newcastle's going to be a different team also.
So plenty of ifs and buts, and all those questions are about to be answered as the players make their way on court for the start of the vital third term. Often the team who can control the third quarter is the team that are celebrating at the end of the night. So far, the Rollers had all the running in round 1. Round 2 belonged to the Newcastle Falcons, and very much to their captain, Terry Dozier. Round 3 is about to begin, and it's the Gold Coast Rollers who'll get first use of the ball in the third quarter. Mitchell straight away with the shot, makes the 2. So Mike Mitchell means business in the second half.
He certainly does. We said he had a very quiet first half, but here he's come out, take the first shot and made it in the second, and that might just be what he needs to fire him up.
Al Green has had an extremely quiet game for Newcastle. He has just 2 points to his name. Dozier wants to continue on the good work of the second quarter. Can't do it. Green makes it 4 points for the night. Mean Al Green.
So he takes that rebound, keeps coming back to his left-hand side, and you really got to cut off his left hand, Al. He's strong that way.
Very vicious suggestion there by Brian Curl. The Rollers 55, the Falcons 49. We're back to 6 points, the lead by the Gold Coast. Good ball to Matthew Reese. And Al Green had the hand in there, spoiling the play for Matthew Reese.
He didn't have a good first half. I think he's 2 from 9 from the field, and he's down, and the Rollers need to get him firing up. He's been inconsistent all year. Maybe once more he didn't have a very good pre-season due to injury.
Everett Stevens. Stevens there. He goes into double figures now. Everett Stevens, 11 points for the game.
Nice cut from the Stevens there off the high post and received the pass near the basket and finished the play off very well.
Peter Hill hasn't scored since the first quarter, Peter Hill, where he had 12 magnificent points.
Good block there from Grant Kruger. He came over the top and swatted Peter Hill's shot away.
Hill now to LaFleur. LaFleur takes on Stevens. Can't make the shot. Dozier once again on the rampage. Terry Dozier knocks it down.
Well, now you see a 2-point ball game, and Newcastle right back in, 20 points down in the first half. We thought they were gone, written off, and here they are. And who's the guy that's led them? Is Terry Dozier, the guy that made that last jump shot.
Reese. Mitchell. Off target, Mike Mitchell. Stevens, the big pass to Dozier. He's playing with plenty of confidence now. Terry Dozier. Al Green. They just want to keep the ball in the hands of Terry Dozier, the Falcons, and why not? Green to Kruger. The crowd don't like him, the Falcons do.
Certainly do, and the Rollers are in a zone down there, and Falcons are passing the ball around, and Kruger gets the ball inside and made an easy shot, and the Rollers are going to have to lift up their defensive intensity.
Kruger hits the floor again. Stevens. Johnson had his foot on the three-point line. Only would have counted for 2. It won't count at all. The ball failed to go down. Now LaFleur wants to take control of the momentum of this game. Slows the play down. The ball game is all tied up. It's 55 points all. Mitchell finds Peter Hill. He'll shoot Peter Hill. It was in for all money. And popped back out. It would have been his 5th three-pointer of the night. So is the tide turning against the Rollers? The ball game tied up 55 points all. The Gold Coast Rollers led by 20 points at one stage in that second quarter. Been a magnificent fight back by the Falcons. Still plenty of time left, 55 apiece. LaFleur, Peter Hill. Goodwin, Matthew Reese tries his luck from outside. Normally shoots a lot closer to the basket.
gone cold, the Gold Coast Rollers, Terry. Peter Hill, he'll want to win this game. He's a former Newcastle player as well. So there's a lot of guys here that used to play at the Gold Coast. A lot of guys used to play at Newcastle in this game.
Used to be's don't count anymore. Mitchell can't get the two. Reese, the flirt with a nice move. The twist and the spin and the 2 points in the flirt.
Just when we thought Mike Mitchell was on the way back, he's missed his last 2 jump shots, and he doesn't look confident at all out there. There's some good defence from Lafleur from behind, and they're pushing the ball up once more, the Rollers.
The alley-oop pass for Mike Mitchell. He missed the ball. He certainly never missed the ring. He seemed to be up there for half an hour.
Doing chin-ups there, he was.
Kruger has deceived himself there.
Yeah, well, he's definitely not a point guard. Here he is. He's lost the handle on the ball, and it's gone out of bounds. And but goes down as another turnover to the Falcons, and they're racking them up.
Goodwin moves the ball to the floor. Peter Hill. Michael Johnson. Hill will shoot.
There you go, see Terry Days. That's why he's the leading defensive rebounder in the league. Makes good position, boxes his man out, and a lovely little layup there from Everett Stevens. But Terry Dozier, copybook rebounding down the other end, Terry.
Dozier doing a great job on the boards and also at the other end doing the scoring. 57 all. It's a tied-up ball game. LaFleur. 5 minutes into the third quarter, 57 points all. No charging foul caught on LaFleur as Everett Stevens hits the deck. Andrew Goodwin went for the big dunk. He missed the two. The arms were swaying there from Kruger. His arms were going all over the place like a helicopter.
Newcastle will pull him out. That's his 4th foul, and Donald will come in. But yes, here it is. Bang. He's come over the back there, and Mike Mitchell was fouled, and Grant Kruger 4 fouls. He's been playing steady, and he's the tough man out there for the Newcastle Falcons, and very improved player this season.
Mitchell on the line for the Gold Coast. Can he keep their 100% record tonight intact? He does just that in the first of his free throws.
Gold Coast Rollers, Terry, they only hit 2 out of 13 from the field in this quarter, and that's poor shooting.
They lead by 2 points, courtesy of Mike Mitchell. Kruger is up on his feet saying the basket shouldn't count. Back to the action now. Stevens, Johnson, Simon O'Donnell and Andrew Goodwin banging their bodies, as is Al Green and Greg Fox. Charging foul called on Al Green.
It's another offensive foul, and the Falcons have given the ball away, 3 or 4 times tonight, similar accounts. And there's Al Green having a few words, a bit of a smile there with Andre Lafleur. But Greg Fox has got the ball, and he's come in for Matthew Reese, who hasn't had a very good game at all. And Dave Claxton likes running that 3-guard rotation. We see Lafleur hit a big 3-pointer.
So it was the Newcastle Falcons captain Terry Dozier who led his team back in the second quarter. Andre Lafleur, the Gold Coast Rollers captain, now he's trying to inspire his team. A bit of sloppy play there by Andrew Goodwin, who got the hand on the ball as the ball just rolled between his legs. I don't think he'd make a soccer goalkeeper.
He would have last night on our team we played, but just couldn't get down to it. And some defence there on Everett Stevens by Andre Lafleur.
The Gold Coast Rollers, the final quarter is now underway. Andrew Goodwin, the Gold Coast Rollers, first use of the ball. Can they convert? Rolls. Working the ball away. Patient in offense. Peter Hill, who was sensational in that opening quarter with 12 points. Matthew Reese still trying to get into this game. So the Rollers squander their first chance in the final quarter. Terry Dozier doesn't squander his chances. He rarely does.
Strong move there from Terry Dozier. And going back, Terry, just before that, Matthew Reese, he's right out of the game tonight. Al Green giving him a real working over down there. Al Green's such a tough player. Matthew Reese might have a couple of inches on him, but Al Green's such a tough defensive player. He tried to strip Mike Mitchell there, but got caught this time.
Mitchell himself has 4 fouls. Mitchell, by his standards, have been relatively quiet tonight.
Here you see Mitchell's turned in the inside. Al Green's come across. Bang, got him on the forearm there, and you know, fairly easy call for the referee to make, and Mike Mitchell should make both these foul shots to tie the ball game up once more.
Don't say that, Curly. I told you before.
Well, if he had made both of them, it would have tied the game up, Terry.
And we use that a bit. Big Mozzie. His captain, legs amends in some ways from Mike Mitchell. We can't believe he missed those foul shots.
Terry, in basketball week last week, I rated all the guards in the National League, and at the start of it, we thought that Butch Hayes may have been in front of Andre Lafleur, but we changed it. And that's one of the reasons. The guy never gives up. He's a great leader also out there, and I think he's one of the premier guards in the league.
Terry Dozier with the big move, but failed to come up with a basket. 74 apiece. Great pass, which can now be called an assist from Andre Lafleur to Matthew Rees.
Yes, and Simon O'Donnell a little bit slow getting back, and Matthew Rees, he's made it. Here it is. Simon O'Donnell's come over the top and fouled him, and Matthew Rees, maybe that might be the 2 points to get him fired up. And Gold Coast are looking for him to really get into the game. You can't rely on just Andre Lafleur. Not that I'm saying Andre Lafleur can't do it, but some of his teammates better start backing him up.
Rees makes it from the foul line. He's only made 3 from 13 for 6 points, now 7 points for the night. They're in front by 3. The Rollers 77-74. Kruger is on the court for the Newcastle Falcons. I'm sure he's been known to be Freddie.
I reckon he'll be fairly close. He's got the looks of him anyway. And there you saw a foul call on Andre Lafleur, trying to stop Terry Dozier down low. It's a big tough ask for Andre Lafleur to do. Here you see it here. He's come over his left-hand shoulder there. Sorry, it's Al Green. And so Lafleur gets the foul called on him, and it's a side ball to the Newcastle Falcons.
Stevens, who had a very strong third quarter, has 17 points against his name. He scored 8 points in the third quarter. Kruger got a good ball to Al Green. Strong play by the 37-year-old veteran.
With that strong left hand, and it comes back. You can't afford to play him on his right. You've got to get it there and stop him. Force him back to his right-hand side, not his left-hand side. I've seen him make thousands of those over the year.
8 points to Al Green tonight. He's just now chipping in there to help the Newcastle Falcons. 76. They trail the Gold Coast Rollers by just a single point. Matthew Rees, the battle is on between Kruger and Goodwin. Keep an eye on that. Lafleur, Stevens, the screen set by Goodwin. Now Lafleur takes them all on. Stripped of the ball, the Gold Coast will get a second chance from the side.
But Kruger came over the top and blocked that away. It's a strong move, Lafleur's, but Kruger picked him off, and Andre Lafleur set his defensive player up.
Hill now strolled around Michael Johnson. Couldn't make the two, and the big long arms of Terry Dozier go up and grab the ball from out of the court.
Copped a little smack in the mouth for his troubles, but another rebound, and he's been the leading rebounder for the game. Here's Mike Johnson.
A big 3 points, Johnson. That's his second big three of the night. And now the Falcons are back in front, 79. The Gold Coast Rollers 77. 10 points for Michael Johnson.
There's Michael Mitchell, Terry. Caught the ball in the air and turned around, made a nice little jump shot, but he's been so inconsistent with his shooting. He needs to string 3 or 4 of those together to get the Gold Coast Rollers on a roll.
Kruger tried for that nice pass again to Al Green. This occasion failed to come up. Mitchell, he'll dunk it for sure.
Yeah, big dunk. Good support from Matthew Rees there, and Mike Mitchell finished it off. A tough defense down the other end, but the Rollers got a steal. Here it is, Mike Mitchell, big two-handed dunk. Thought he would have got up and made a little bit more ferocious, but he just made a nice little passive dunk.
Hard market. 16 points for Mike Mitchell. He's about to come home with a bang. Kruger. Michael Johnson. Dozier loses the ball, one of his very rare mistakes tonight. The Newcastle coach, Tom Wisman, wants a timeout soon. Lafleur can't get it. Al Green with another rebound. He rips them down for not a tall player.
Yes, evergreen Al Green. He just keeps going, and he's tough. Great jumping ability. Remember, in his younger days, he's one of the best dunking guards that's ever been out. Here's Everett Stevens missing a big three, and Goodwin knocks it out, and the Falcons will get the ball, and Tom Wiesman has called a timeout. He's not too happy with what he sees out there.
The Rollers lead the Newcastle Falcons by 81 points to 79 points. We'll take a short break. 81 the Rollers, 79 the Falcons. 7 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in this contest. The Newcastle Falcons, they went down last night to the Townsville Suns up in Townsville. They made the trip down the coast, down to the Gold Coast. The Gold Coast are now under pressure from the Falcons, who at one stage in the second quarter trailed by 20 points. Everett Stevens, Peter Hill says, thanks very much, Everett. I'll take it. Lafleur. Now Andre Lafleur will try and take control of this game if he can. Goodwin, Mitchell, they're in no major hurry, the Gold Coast Rollers. The alley-oop pass by Mitchell. Looks spectacular, but it doesn't come off that often.
No, it's not a very high percentage play, and there's Al Green taking one of his few outside shots and misses, and it's a Gold Coast Rollers ball. Interesting stats there, Terry, is both captains. Dozier's leading the way for Falcons with 26 points, 15 rebounds, whereas Andre Lafleur's leading the Rollers with 22 points out there. So both captains are doing a job for their team.
As they should. Lafleur. Reese has lifted his game, Reese, in this final quarter. Ball was in, then back out again. Matthew Reese, he's coming home with a wet sail. Johnson finds Al Green. The left hand again doesn't pay off for him on this occasion.
No, he's intimidated by Andrew Goodwin there. Andrew Goodwin's big arms are up, and Al Green just had to hold his shot back a little bit. Goodwin got the rebound. As you see here, he scared Al Green off there, and Matthew Reese has got the rebound, and Al Green's come over and racked his arm. The referee's called a foul. So it's a 4-point ball game now to the Rollers. And the crowd's coming alive, Terry. Maybe they're going to get a bowl a bit early tonight.
Notoriously a loud crowd down here. This season, the Gold Coast Rollers have been quiet, but don't they love that Mike Mitchell? He is the man who does fire the crowd up here. 85 now, the Rollers. The Falcons 79. Gold Coast Rollers, the tempo has now gone with them. Al Green now coming into his own. He's made a slow start. 2 points up until half-time, and now he has 10 points.
I think that was slips though, Terry. That one slipped out of his hand, that one, but it still counts. And it's interesting that the two players were set down, Matthew Reese and Mike Mitchell. They're the two guys that have come good in this quarter for the Falcons.
Kruger once again spoiling the play. Johnson can't make the three. Might get a second go. No, Stevens picks it up. He can't do it. Big rebound by Andrew Goodwin. Lafleur, Mitchell, he'll take the two. Now the crowd are getting behind the home side. They're out by 6, and that is 20 points to Mike Mitchell.
Well, they've been waiting for Mike Mitchell, and maybe he's the guy that turns this crowd on, and he's certainly done that now, as you see Kruger going in strong for a layup, and he's fouled by Matthew Reese. There's a strong drive from Kruger here, and Matthew Reese, poor position on his defense. Should have tried and got better position and picked up a charge, and Kruger now goes to the foul line, and maybe Kruger's not a good foul shooter, and Matthew Reese knew that.
Kruger on the line, makes the first. He's not a spectacular foul shooter. He shoots only 47% from the free throw line. 51 from the field, which is a good percentage. And his three-point percentage is pretty good, 100%, but it's only 1 from 1.
Yeah, I can see that. But don't the crowd love him here? Gee, they get right behind him with that foul line, don't they?
He's a good character for the game, Kruger. He's really added some spice to this game and kept the crowd entertained. He's kept the Gold Coast Rollers on their mettle as well. Lafleur. It's been a good contest. Now the Rollers are up by 4. Travel, big one. And Kruger is at it again. Mike Mitchell gave him a little bash with the ball just to keep him in line. The referee, Billy Mildenhall, saying, Mike, you just can't do that.
Yeah, and a tech foul's been called on Mike Mitchell, and that's his 5th foul. Not a smart thing from Mike Mitchell, and Kruger, he did the right thing there, but he travelled first, Mitchell, and I thought there was a new dance step going on out there. Here we go. We'll have a look on the replay here, and here's Mitchell travelled, took 2 or 3 shuffles there, beat Terry Day. Kruger comes across, and then bang, Mitchell's hit him in the face with the ball. Kruger's come back, which is quite right, and then Matthew Reese comes in. Nothing to do with Matthew Reese. He should have minded his own business, but tech foul's been called on Mike Mitchell, and this could be a little bit costly for the Gold Coast Rollers.
Just one of those things that sort of just robs one team, especially with the ball, of the momentum, and maybe just fires the opposition up a touch. I can tell you there's plenty of players fired up here, and Terry Dozier wants to go and shoot the ball, and the ball's going to go into the hands of Kruger. I think Dozier was trying to con.
I don't know what he's worried about. Kruger made his last 2, and I've got to give the kid some confidence. There he is. He's made the next one as well. So he's 3 out of 3, and a few high fives flying around there.
He's done a good job for the Newcastle Falcons tonight, Kruger. 87 the Rollers, 84 the Falcons. LaFleur. Matthew Reese. Al Green is out there. Hustling as always. Andrew Goodwin comes up with a big slam.
Huge slam. Andrew Goodwin was left unattended, and Matthew Reese saw him, and he finished it off with a big 2-handed dunk and hangs on the ring. A great play from the Gold Coast Rollers.
Falcons now going to attack. Stevens gets a good ball to Dozier. Nice assist from Stevens. And Dozier makes good with the 2 points.
Tough move, and Tom Wiesman will call a timeout soon to change his tactics for the game, but great play there. And here's Kruger's been called for a foul. He's fouled Matthew Reese inside, and the crowd love it. They just love to see the fouls called on Kruger.
That is 5 fouls now.
You'll see the play here. He's come over. Matthew Reese was open, and Kruger not in position to play D, and has just grabbed him on the arm. And Matthew Reese will come back after this timeout and go to the foul line for 2 shots. It is
a 3-point ball game at the moment. The Gold Coast Rollers 89 and lead the Newcastle Falcons 86. And now Coach Dave Claxton go to work with the Gold Coast Rollers. Well, Claxton would have to be much more happy with the performance from the Rollers. They really look as though they've got their minds on the job now.
Yeah, well, Mike Mitchell's come back into the game, and Andrew Goodwin's doing a very good job. But I think the big thing for him this quarter is the improved form of Matthew Reese. So Dave Claxton now, to be talking defence to them, they've got to get out to their shooters outside, and also try and do a better job on Terry Dozier inside. He's going to be their go-to man, and they sag too much on him, and Stevens going to bang it up from outside. So Tom Wiesman, he's going to be changing a few of his strategies now. He'll be wanting his players to go to Stevens and Dozier a lot more with 3 minutes 42 left on the clock in this game. They've been the guys that have been scoring consistently for them, and the players have got to realise that.
Tom Wiesman, plenty of work to do as the Rollers now with a 3-point spread here over the Newcastle Falcons. 3 minutes and 42 seconds remaining as the crowd here gets pumped up. They're looking for their 4th win in succession, the Gold Coast Rollers.
It's interesting, Terry, they've got the longest winning streak in the league this year with Perth with 3 wins. No team's really strung a huge amount of wins together, but the Rollers had that opportunity tonight to make it 4, and we know that Perth have also got a game. So this will really push the Gold Coast Rollers up the ladder if they can come away with a win. And as it looks now, they're looking very strong, but we've seen this lead change. We've seen 20-point lead, and we've seen 7 or 8-point leads keep changing all game, and Matthew Reese goes to the line here. He's trying to push this lead out to 5 points.
You must have, but the Gold Coast Rollers they're pretty good when it comes down to the wire as well. They tend to get home late.
Well, I don't think they want to win by too many more points than 2 or 3. That seems to be their go. Every game we've come down here this year, they've been fairly close, and Matthew Reese missed that first foul shot. But, gee, we've got to get out and have a big win one night and give Dave Claxton a little bit of breathing room.
It is good for the crowd. 89 the Rollers, 86 the Falcons. They could have done with those two.
Definitely could. And a lot of coaches will call a timeout when the opposition players at the foul line, because sometimes it does throw their concentration out.
3 minutes 30 remaining. Everett Stevens. Dozier. Kruger's hit the deck. Peter Hill. Now Terry Dozier is charged into Matthew Reese. And that is Dozier's third foul.
We see it down here. Matthew Reese has come over. Dozier's charged straight into him. Maybe a little bit unfortunate there. Terry Dozier seemed to be in control, but the referee saw the other way and played Matthew Reese for his good defensive play.
So a big call there. Reese probably got there just in the nick of time. Dozier took him on. The call went the way of the Gold Coast Rollers. Popular decision here. Bean Al Green now having a couple of words with referee Billy Mildenhall. I know who's going to lose that battle. The player always loses.
It's a friendly little conversation though. Billy and Al Green, neither of them got too upset about it, so I don't know what it was all about.
Fleur. Peter Hill. Goodwin back out to LaFleur. A 3-point from Peter Hill will come in handy for the Gold Coast Rollers. Reese took on Kruger and the charge has been called.
Well, good defense from Kruger there on 5 fouls. It's a very gutsy move to take that position. As you see it here, here he is, he's set, and Matthew Reese charges straight into him, and there's no doubt about that call. But that was a tough decision on defense by Grant Kruger, especially with 5 fouls.
3-point ball game. Both sides now just struggling to add the points to their total. 89 the Gold Coast Rollers, 86 the Falcons. Stevens, what can he make happen? Terry Dozier's made it happen all night. Johnson. Dozier works the baseline, comes up with 2.
So he gets the defense on his back, Terry, and feels them there and turns around, turns away from the defense, and he's so tall, he has such long arms, he puts that shot up very hard to defend, and he's tough in that low post position, but a good feed from Michael Johnson also.
And that's a big 30 points for Terry Dozier. They've all been a bonus now. The Gold Coast Rollers just tend to be choking at the other end. 89 the Rollers, 88 the Falcons. The crowd and the fans, they came to see a close ball game. That is what they're seeing. While at one stage it looked to be a blowout to the Gold Coast Rollers, who led by 20 in the second quarter. Now they lead by just 1. Now they still lead by just 1. How important might that be?
Very important move, and it's interesting to see the offense that Newcastle playing. They're playing like a triangle over there with Terry Dozier in the low post. And one of the shooters, either Johnson and Stevens, outside a strong move from LaFleur, and he took Everett Stevens to the basket, made the bucket, and has drawn the foul.
We're now down to the business end. 1 minute 38 remaining. What a play by Andre LaFleur.
Here it is, strong drive. Everett Stevens not there, and LaFleur jumps in, but he gets the foul. Terry, just going back to cap on what I was saying down the other end, if they drop the ball into Dozier, the defense sags on. He'll just kick it back out to the shooter. So it's a pretty good offensive ploy that Newcastle are playing down that end on their offense.
And it's now a 4-point split to the Gold Coast Rollers. Andre LaFleur completing a big 3-point play. Johnson, he'll try his luck for 3. Air ball, Johnson, Kruger, trying hard to the end. Nearly took out the Metway bankside.
And the ladies sitting in the front row as well, but that was a poor shot selection from Michael Johnson. No need to take that.
Mitchell, can he make the 2? Yes, he can.
Great basket from Mike Mitchell, and the Gold Coast Rollers have that 6-point lead now, and this could be quite costly. And Tom Wisman, he'll go to the timeout button to settle things down here, because there's still plenty of time, and here it is. Gold Coast Rollers, everything's going their way now. 53
seconds. He wants the ball spread out, Coach Dave Claxton. He wants the players to use up time. 46 seconds left. They'll move the ball around. Mitchell will take 2. He probably should have made them. There was no one within cooey of him. They wasted some time. Al Green. Stevens flies high. Peter Hill says he got the ball.
Well, one-on-one situation for Stevens here. Needs to make both of these. Still only 31 seconds on the clock, but they're going to have to foul the Rollers and send them to the foul line. As you see here on the replay, Stevens goes high, knocks it out, gets hold of it, tries to go through the traffic, which he does, and he's fouled, but a one-on-one situation here for the Falcons.
31 seconds left on the clock. It's another thriller here at Carrara. 90 for the Rollers, the Falcons 88. The Rollers have come good at the right time. The Falcons, though, they're not out of this game, as we've said before, Curly. 31 seconds, a lot can happen.
Yeah, it can, but it doesn't look too good. Like I said, he's got to make both of these. That's a 4-point ball game. But really, they need to foul the Rollers and send them to the line, and hope they miss the first of the one-on-one situation. But Mike Mitchell, he's been the big difference in this last quarter, and Matthew Reese has chimed in, done a number of good things also, whereas Andre Lafleur's been very steady for them.
Tom Wisman, returning to the Gold Coast where he coached only 3 years ago. At the moment, it's not looking like a real good weekend for Tom Wisman. Coach Dave Claxton, well, he's a bit more happy now. He had to stand there or sit there and watch his team dwindle away a 20-point advantage in the second term. They really have come back, though. Now just gain the momentum away from the Falcons.
Here's Everett Stephen. The pressure's on him to make these two foul shots. But, like you say, Terry, 31 seconds, a long time in a ball game. He makes these. It's a 4-point game. They can make a quick steal, or if they get that quick foul and the Rollers miss it and they come up and hit a three-pointer, anything can happen. But at this stage, I'd really fancy the Gold Coast Rollers, and I'd like to thank the Newcastle Falcons, because I tipped them to win both games this week in the basketball week, and they've made me look very, very ordinary in my tipping.
I won't add to that. I'll leave that go. The Rollers 94, the Falcons 88. Any more plugs in there for the basketball week?
That's a great magazine, and every basketball fanatic should be buying it. And as you see, Stevens made the first one, and maybe if he makes this one, can make my prediction look a lot better.
Everett Stevens. Big play coming up here. He makes the second one. 94 to 90. 30 seconds left. Will the Falcons try and foul the Gold Coast? I don't know if they'll have a chance. The Gold Coast using up time now. They come at Hill. Reese, Mitchell is open.
Well, that's a good foul, because Matthew Reese missed his last two foul shots. So Michael Johnson, they picked the right play, but maybe let the clock go down too long to 20 seconds. So it makes it tough for them now. Here it is, Michael Johnson, he's all over, and it's not intentional foul, but the referee's called it. It's a bit of a crazy rule, this one I don't agree with.
Matthew Reese goes to the free throw line. He shoots 74% from the free throw line, Matthew Reese, so he's fairly solid from the charity stripe. He makes the first one, bumps it out to 5 points. That could be the killer blow.
Yeah. Good night to the Falcons now.
96 to 90. Gold Coast Rollers are up. 15 seconds left. Everett Stevens gets the ball. Dozier with a dunk. 9 seconds left. It's all the Gold Coast Rollers. The massive slam from Mitchell to finish the game off. What a way. What a way for the Gold Coast Rollers to finish the game. They win by 6, but it was oh so close there for a long, long time. But it was Mike Mitchell, really, in the third and fourth quarters, who came good for the Gold Coast Rollers, along with the captain, Andre Lafleur. A better showing from Matthew Reese in the second half. And the Gold Coast Rollers came storming home to topple a tenacious Newcastle Falcons, who trailed by 20 points at one stage in that second quarter. The Falcons held the lead for momentarily in the fourth quarter, and the lead continued to seesaw, but the Rollers in the end get home by 6 points, 98 to 92, and the man who made it happen for the Gold Coast Rollers, Mike Mitchell, is with Brian Kerr.
Mike, you copped a cut under the eye early in the game. Did it set you back at all?
No, I was just thinking about it a little bit too much in the first half. But in the second half, I just buckled down and, just played the game and tried to concentrate on a few things.
Yeah, we said at three-quarter time that you were the answer. If you could come back and really get your game together in that last quarter, the Gold Coast Rollers would come away with the win. You wouldn't have been that happy with your form earlier, though, would you?
Nah, well, I'm happy with the win. Myself personally, it was a little down, but hey, as long as we get a win, I don't care if I play bad and have 2 points and we win, I'm happy about it.
Well, I believe you had a great last quarter, and you were a significant factor in the Gold Coast Rollers win, and that's your 4th win in a row, and that's great, and all the best for next week.
Oh, thank you. All right, Brian.
Mike Mitchell, who finished off the win for the Gold Coast Rollers in spectacular fashion. 98-92. The Gold Coast Rollers make it 4 wins in a row. We're back to wrap up after a short break. 4 wins in a row and a bit of an upset.
Well, it was, because I tipped the Newcastle Falcons, so I guess it is an upset, but can't take anything away from the Rollers. They had a 20-point lead, and they came back, and very interesting game, Terry.
Curly, it really was a game of fluctuating fortunes. The Gold Coast Rollers made such a bright start. They led by 30 points to 17 in the first quarter, 53-47. They led by 20 points at one stage in that second quarter, and the one that really matters, 98-92 at the end.
Yeah, well, it was the Rollers' first quarter, and the second quarter was the Falcons, and it came that way. And as we look at the match stats, Terry, very interesting. If you have a look at that, you'd wonder how the Falcons lost. 52% from the field as against 44. Foul shooting's equal. 3 points, although the Rollers made 6 of the Falcons 3. Rebounding was, a big advantage there of the Falcons, and turnovers, I guess that's where you got to look at it.
And the top scorer as well, there was none better for the Gold Coast Rollers than Andre Lafleur with 25 and Mike Mitchell 24. Really came alive in that final quarter when all the points matter. And for the Falcons, well, Terry Dozier made a slow first quarter, but he had an amazing 3 quarters after that. What a performance, 32 points.
Tremendous performance, and you can't take anything away from him. A great leader, and the 2 captains tonight, Lafleur and Mitchell, Lafleur and Dozier had 2 great games between them.
Plenty of basketball action continues here on Network 10. The Canberra Cannons up against the Adelaide 36ers, live on Channel 10, right around the country. The Cannons up against the 36ers. What a game that should be. It's been another thrilling game here at Carrara. The Gold Coast Rollers make it 4 in a row. Brian Curl, myself, and all the gang down here, have a good night.